most important thing in Sea of Thieves is gold. Which means the second most important thing in Sea of Thieves is figuring out a good way to get that gold. And one of the best ways to make sure you're getting the most gold for your time is by flying an emissary flag. And sometimes getting your emissary flag to grade 5 can be a little bit tedious. So today I'm going to dive into the best way for each faction for leveling up your emissary to grade 5 the fastest. And just quickly before we get in, I won't be including the guild emissary in this video as I don't really see it so much as an emissary similar to the other ones. So if you want me to make my own dedicated video on the best way to level up guild emissary, let me know down below because I'd be happy to make it. The first emissary I'm going to talk about is probably the one that is the most fun to actually level up, and that is the Athena's emissary. Now this is one of the only ones on the list today that while you are getting to grade 5, you are actually also collecting loot without diving and abandoning it. This will start by raising up the Athena's emissary flag, obviously, and you want to do a dive to a Veil voyage. Now it's important that the quest you get as your initial Veil quest is the Sunken Shipwreck. This is probably the most important part for a few reasons. The Sunken Shipwreck is not only the fastest one to complete, but you actually have the potential for getting the most amount of treasure from this specific Veil voyage than any of the other Veil ones, including Bell or Suds. At the shipwreck, you're going to park over top and you're going to look for the boat named Grimm's Fortune, as this boat will always have the manifest that tells you which boat is holding the key. However, this step isn't so important because you are going to actually be searching through every single boat at this shipwreck, as there can be really good pieces of Athena's loot spread across every boat. However, if you don't happen to find the key along the way while doing that, the manifest will tell you which ship was carrying the key and just search that one boat much more thoroughly. And then, once you have the key, you're going to go into the captain's quarters, get the chest and any other Athena loot in there, and you're going to make sure you put the Veil Stone in the Veil itself. This is going to give you a good amount of Athena's reputation for leveling up your emissary, but we're not done yet. Now, once you have finished that step, you're going to start sailing away from the shipwreck. As you're sailing away, you're going to vote up Veil voyages and cancel them if you're not getting another shipwreck, as what we want next is actually another shipwreck voyage. Once you get one, you're gonna go ahead and sail over to that next shipwreck, which shouldn't be more than just a few squares away from you. Upon reaching that shipwreck, you're going to do the exact same thing, making sure that you put the Veil Stone in the Veil, and this will get you almost all the way to grade 5. Now at this point, you have a few choices. You can either try to go to yet again another shipwreck, which is probably the best option. If you're comfortable starting your journey as an almost grade 5, you can go ahead and just start whatever Athena journey you were actually going to do. Or you can do what I'm doing in this video and just finish one more step of the Veil quest, because you actually will get a good amount of Athena loot from it, and it shouldn't take longer than 10 minutes to finish this step. And then once you do any one of those, you will be grade 5. Now an alternative method is before you start any of this, you can just dive to an Athena's Sea Fortress raid, and then you go ahead and do the Sunken Ship Veil quest, and you will get grade 5 from sailing to the second one. And these are all pretty close in time, so it's really up to you which of these methods you want to mix and match. But let's move on. In moving on to Gold Hoarders, we're actually going to group Gold Hoarders and Order of Souls together because they're both extremely similar. In fact, they are the exact same. Now, I do want to clarify that you can get any emissary to grade 5 if you do a raid voyage to the Ghost Fleet Armada and you kill every single captain boat and collect every piece of treasure. This will get you grade 5 for any faction. However, the reason I'm not including this is this is not doable necessarily for all players, but I figured I'd just throw it in. And as a Gold Hoarders or Order of Souls, you're going to just do 3 Sea Fortress raid voyages. These voyages are incredibly quick and shouldn't take you more than 5 minutes from the time you dive to the time you finish. When doing the voyages, you're going to make sure you park on the side of the island that I am parking on right here, as this is the fastest for harpooning both spots that you will put your treasure from the up top spot, and as well as bringing it through this gate. Go through and complete the waves, and as you are completing the waves, just look around for the extra key, as there is always one hiding, and it will help you hit grade 5 faster for getting all this extra loot. And then of course, when you're done, make sure you're bringing the treasure out this door on the side, and you have a couple of choices after you have finished the second one. After finishing the second one, you will be very close to grade 5, and if you want to just continue your voyage and do whatever you're going to do as an Order of Souls or Gold Hoarder, it won't take you very many things until you hit grade 5, but if you want to hit grade 5 first, you're gonna have to just start up one more of these. Total time-wise, while I was testing this for the video, from the time I spawned into the outpost to the time I finished my third sea fort, it was less than 25 minutes. And I was doing them completely solo. Doing this method is also great for gathering supplies to start your journey off. So although it's a little boring, it is still pretty quick. Will get you a lot of supplies, and it's pretty easy to hit grade 5, and you can just sort of turn your brain off for this. But that's Order of Souls and Gold Hoarders. Let's move on to Merchant. Merchant is actually the most straightforward one on this list today, because you are going to just vote up the Merchant's Lost Manifest Voyage, and you're going to vote to dive to it, but make sure it's an Ashen one. I do also want to quickly add in, it is important as Merchant that you're actually buying all the crates available for purchase at the outpost. This involves all the ones purchasable through the merchants, and it doesn't hurt to get the bait crate as well from the Hunter's Call. Because believe it or not, I have skipped this step before and not actually hit grade 5 from the rest of this method, so this is a crucial part. Now, I would vote down and re-vote up the voyage until you get the one going from Galleon's Grave to Morrow's Peak, and they actually reworked this voyage recently so that the ship doesn't always spawn at Morrow's Peak. However, the direction you come out of the water, whether you come from Morrow's Peak or Galleon's Grave, the shipwreck will always be towards the opposite outpost. So as you sail along, check every pile of birds, and if the pile of birds doesn't have the key, it will have a clue as to where you should stop next, and finding the key shouldn't take more than about 5 to 10 minutes. And then once you have the key, you are just going to sail to all sets of birds you have along the path. If you remember, I told you to set from Galleon's Grave to Morrow's Peak. You can actually map out a little path on your map table, which helps you a lot in figuring out whether you're still on course. Now, the nice thing about this game is shipwrecks always have very still water above them. So if you're curious of whether the set of birds you are above is the shipwreck or not, if the water seems very relaxed on top, just like in the video here, chances are you're in the right place, and you are just going to dive down, open the captain's quarter, get all the treasure out, and then make sure you find the manifest, and this will guaranteed 100% of the time get you to grade 5. Moving on from Merchant, we're going to step into Hunter's Call. And in the future, I will probably have to update this method as we don't have too much voyage choice as of right now. However, it does make it very straightforward, and you want to go to Sanctuary Outpost and sail from there all the way up to Smuggler's Bay. The reason you should start your journey at Smuggler's Bay is this is a very far away part of the map that not many people tend to go to. It's a big island that you can hide behind while doing your fishing, so you'll probably be uninterrupted. And with Smuggler's Bay and Sailor's Bounty, when you finish a fishing voyage at one and vote up the next, it will always be at one of the two islands, meaning you can just go back and forth, and you only have to complete 3 of these fishing voyages in order to hit a grade 5 Emissary and Hunter's Call. Now, unfortunately, if you're doing this alone, it is going to take significantly longer than if you have just one more person, as you are going to have to reel in all these fish on your own, and unfortunately, the fishing event doesn't really seem to scale with crew size, but I don't really know how they would manage that. So after completing 3 of these bigger fishing voyages, not only will you have a lot of fish on board, but you will also be grade 5. But let's move on to the final emissary of the video, being Reapers. And Reapers is actually the easiest and fastest emissary to level up, as once you vote to represent Reapers, you're just going to do this one Gold Hoarders dig quest, and you're going to dive to the location every time. And what you are looking for is a captain on the island. As for some reason, after you kill a captain, You always get a dig quest on that same island, and when you dig it up, this gets you an insane amount of emissary level, so completing 2 of them is enough to get you to grade 5. So you'll dive island to island doing this quest, and if there's no captain, you will just tap both the chests, go back to your boat, and repeat the step until you do get a captain on your island. And some people might tell you to actually dig the chests all the way up and put them on your boat. However, this doesn't give you enough rep to make it worth it, and will actually just be longer than trying to find the 2 captains. But that's everything for the video today. Hopefully this has helped you in some way, shape, or form. If it has, feel free to subscribe and turn on those channel notifications for more content just like this. We'll see you guys in the next video. I'm out. Peace!